Welcome to Movie Schmovie. This is Ronald.
And this is Steve.
And I'm here. We are here.
We
as a collective, are here to talk about everything.
Some movies. All kinds of goodness.
Yes, all kinds of goodness. Now,
what episode number is this?
This is 11. We are
Number 11.
We are in the deep, as Adele would say. We're rolling in the deep. So,
good old Adele.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
You can reach us a bunch of places. Twitter.com/movieschmovie, Facebook.com/movieschmovie, movieschmovie@gmail.com.
And our main site.
Yeah, our main
movieschmovie.net.
Movieschmovie.net.
Don't forget about that.
That is our media hub.
Yeah, that's where we hang out all day. We post movie news on there that we get from other sites, just so, you know, if you're following us, maybe you'll come across it as well.
Yeah.
So wherever you're listening to this, hopefully you can find one of those other sites and hit us up on there and just strengthen the relationship a little more, hopefully.
Yes, definitely. So today we are here to talk about Don't Be Afraid of the Dark.
Don't Be Afraid of the Dark.
Troy Nixey's Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. Not to be confused with Guillermo del Toro, who has a big hand in it, but did not actually direct.
That's it's kind of confusing. I feel like a lot of people think it's his movie, you know? Yeah. Like, he's in all the marketing, but that's the same thing to do with, like, Tarantino. Whenever
they do that.
He produces a movie and, like, you don't know who directed it.
Sometimes,
it's just, like, a way to make money.
They do that. Sometimes Quentin Tarantino may literally just bring a movie over from Japan.
Yep.
And they'll say Quentin Tarantino's
Presents or whatever.
So people think that it's...
But before we get to the feature, which is Don't Be Afraid of the Dark this week, we're going to do our Mighty Minute. Yeah, Mighty Minute review.
Yeah, so we're going to do Submarine. Which is the director. Says you got to...
Richard Ayoade.
There
you go.
Who had a big hand in the IT crowd. A lot of big British comedy. He decided to... He's actually done some video work, too. Done some music videos.
Oh, yeah?
And decided to make a movie called Submarine, which is basically like a coming-of-age movie about a kid that is pretty much obsessed with a girl in his school. So he kind of makes a pretty good effort to kind of be with her. And it works.
I mean, you turned me on to the movie. I saw the trailer for it a while ago, and I think you went and saw it in theaters, right?
Yeah, I went to go see it.
So I just saw a DVD of it recently, and I thought it was pretty awesome. I mean, like, I think the sensibility of it's very unique. The whole British styling, like, you know, the way that a lot of British comedy, situational comedy, or just, like, physical stuff that happens in the film. The kid, I don't know who plays the main boy, if you have his name or not. Was it Noah?
Noah Taylor.
Yeah. He is, he's quite something. I don't know that, I don't recognize him from anything else. He's probably been in something here and there.
It's actually Craig Roberts. I'm sorry, Craig Roberts.
Give me the wrong name.
Yeah, sorry about that. He plays Oliver Tate.
Noah Taylor is who plays his dad, right?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Who also was awesome. I think the whole family structure was really cool, but I mean, it's just like a really cool coming-of-age story. I really like the way it's kind of broken up. It's broken up into, like, chapter 1, chapter 2, or, like, epilogue, prologue. It had a very, like, Wes Anderson kind of feel to a lot of it. I don't know if you got that same impression or not.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah.
And a lot of the dry humor that a lot of the Wes Anderson films kind of are known for. Mm-hmm. I think this movie had a lot of that too, so, I mean... It played really well to me. The people that I watched it with really enjoyed it as well. I'm not sure when it actually comes out on DVD. I think it's pretty soon, like in September or so.
Very, very soon.
But I think it's really cool, you know, really kind of unique, kind of different outside of the whole Hollywood studio, like, you know, romantic comedies that came out throughout the summer. If you're looking for a little bit of a different film, you know, than that, but still something very funny that has a lot of heart to it.
Yeah.
Because what the cool thing about it is he's trying to get the girl, but he's also trying to save his parents' relationship.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool because he's trying to balance. He has priorities, and he's like, do I worry about the girl I want to lose my virginity to, or do I worry about my mom and dad? And it's kind of a cool situation to get himself stuck in. But
it's very cool, man.
Submarine, good stuff.
Yeah, good stuff. One thing I was going to say about it is it's an indie movie, and it has, like, the indie honesty that a lot of movies have, like this kind of like bellowing out very random, honest statements without being too overbearing in that. Yeah. Because I think that a lot of indie movies are like, they kind of overdo it. They're outside of the box. Everybody speaks their mind.
Yeah.
Everybody travels in an unconventional manner. Everybody rides bikes because they can't afford cars.
Everybody likes owls.
Yeah.
I don't know. Every hipster thing you could probably think of.
Every hipster thing.
They just do it so far to the wall, or so far out there. Like, I know what you're getting at. Like, this has a nice, like, natural restraint to it. Like, it has some of those things, but it just feels more natural. Like they're not trying to do it, you know. Like even some of the more out there things, like their next door neighbor, who is played by Patty Considine, who I love. He's like this off the wall kind of like self-help guru, kind of magician ninja. I don't know,
which I really enjoy.
He's out there, but I mean, he still feels like a real person who could probably live next door to you.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, Submarine. I think it's definitely worth checking out if you're looking for some fun British dramedy. I guess you'd consider that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so moving on to this week's feature review, which, like as Ronald was saying, is Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, directed by Troy Nixey. It comes out, it's actually in theaters now, just came out, starring Katie Holmes, Guy Pearce, and Bailee Madison. So here, check out a clip from it, Don't Be Afraid of the Dark.
Sir? I know it's strange being in a new house. Calm down, please. We're your friends. There's nothing to be afraid of. What are you?
Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. Rated R. Now playing everywhere.
So yeah, that is pretty much. It's an interesting story. So at the beginning, you see this short little montage. It's actually a scene where a lady's going down to help a gentleman. I guess she's on this estate helping this gentleman that's in the basement, and he's very strange. He's in the dark. He's telling her to come down for a second. He tackles her and bashes her teeth out.
Yeah.
Then he takes her teeth, puts it in what looks like a stove entry or something like that.
It's like a hot stove. Like
hot
it's like
stove,
you know, like the old time, like with the, you know, cast iron plate in the front to like kind of close it shut. He has it in a little bowl or a little dish. He just like puts it in there and he's talking down this hole. Yeah. And you're like, what's he talking to? And then you start hearing all these whispers. And you know, some weird shit happens, but then that kind of kicks off the tone for the film and takes us up to what we think is the present day. We haven't really figured that out, have we? If it's like actually, if it takes place like in real time, like in today, or because some elements of the movie actually make it look like it's a little aged, but I don't know. I guess we'll just assume that it's like, you know, present day.
Yeah, fairly new.
But yeah, so that the caretaker, that guy, it was named, I think was Blackwood. Yeah. You see the estate again, but in the present day, and we meet Guy Pearce's character, who is his name is Alex. He's a real estate developer, it seems. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's bought the estate to kind of fix it up and to have it featured in a real estate magazine, and you know, to make his big comeback and to be very profitable. We also meet Katie Holmes, who is his girlfriend and also the interior designer that's working on the house. Yeah. And they are at the airport to pick up his daughter, who just flew in from what seems to be like L.A.
Yeah, Sally, who was played by Bailee Madison. You may have seen her in some stuff like what's that movie with Adam Sandler? Just Go With It. Yeah. In that,
she's in Brothers too, right?
Yeah, she's in a lot of stuff. Conviction, Letters to God, Brothers.
Yeah, Brothers, she's really good in Brothers.
Yeah, really good in Brothers. She has a really strong presence on screen, and you kind of see that throughout the movie. Whether she's right for this movie is a question within itself, but I thought she was a really strong character. Yeah. At this point when she comes in, she kind of got pushed off by her mom, and she's supposed to be staying with her dad. And she kind of hints that she believes that her mom just kind of pushed her off. Right. During a point where Kim, who she's not very fond of at the time, is introduced to her.
Right. Kim is that's Katie Holmes. That's the girlfriend. Yeah, you almost get the sense that Sally was under the impression that like she was just coming to visit her dad, and when Alex realizes that when she asks him that, it comes clear that, you know, the mother never told her, you know, you're going to stay with your dad, and he has to break it to her that, you know, you're actually going to be staying out here with me for the foreseeable future, and Kim as well, you know. So there's this attempt to get them to bond almost immediately. Oh yeah. And Kim seems very, you know, good-hearted. She's really trying. She buys her a bear. She's trying to joke with her, you know, and be receptive and caring and kind of like welcome her. But, you know, Sally's not really having it.
No, it's very clear at the beginning that she has some issues. As they're driving towards the estate, Kim kind of looks in the rearview mirror and sees that Sally's popping pills.
Self-medicating at a young age.
She's on
Man.
antidepressants, and
we don't even know what it is. We think they say, don't they say like they think it's Adderall?
Yeah, they think it's Adderall. Yeah. And it's very clear also during the conversation that you realize that Guy Pearce's character Alex kind of hints that he doesn't think her mom is a very good mom.
Yeah.
And she kind of just medicates anything,
right,
including the dogs.
And we get the sense of that also, like throughout the movie. There's like little instances where like she calls the mother, and the mother kind of just like pushes her aside, which is sad. And you kind of see where some of the young girls like sadness is rooted, and you kind of see why she is kind of so disconnected and, you know, kind of apprehensive about getting to know Kim or really even being excited to see her dad in a lot of ways, because she just kind of seems numb. Like she doesn't really talk a lot at first. When she actually gets to the house is kind of where we pick up a little bit with the story in terms of her integration into this kind of creepy place that we know something bad happened in the past. They don't, because we come to find out it's kind of been hidden. Yeah. You know, she stumbles out into an outback, the garden out back, or like this little hedge display. I don't know what it is, but she kind of finds what looks like a mirror or like a cellar mirror or something like that, and the groundskeeper is actually sees her out there and kind of quickly pulls her away, almost to the point where you know he's keeping something hidden.
Oh, yeah.
He's in on the problems that we saw happen earlier in the movie, or he knows what's going on. But she pursues it a little more, and she's telling her dad, like, Dad, I saw this. There's a basement. There's something here. And they're all under the impression that the house doesn't have a basement. And when they move all the brush out of the way, they actually do see what looks like atrium glass. Like it's like a outside glass from underneath.
Yep. So then Alex decides to kind of follow this trail to the house and realizes that this is kind of sitting on top of it.
Yep.
So he realizes that the wall that's I guess above the stairwell is actually hollow.
Yeah.
So then he starts beating it down, and he sees that there's a door behind it.
Right.
And they have a key for it. So they open it up.
Go figure.
They open it up, go downstairs, and this place looks creepy as shit. It's basically where the first scene took place.
Yeah, and then it kind of clicks together. You see the scene that we opened the film with, where the housemaid is like going on the steps, and she trips and falls, and the guy bashes her teeth out, and you know where the guy got basically taken down into that like hot oven or the hot stove, whatever you call them, a fireplace, and you see it all. Except now you see that it's all dusty, it's all dirty. People haven't been down there for years, obviously. Mm-hmm. And again, the house, like the gardener or the maintenance man, you can tell that he knows what the room is. He's still very kind of against them going down there.
Very shaky.
Yes, very. And
very panicky.
When Sally gets down there, she sees the fireplace, or she sees that little hot stove.
Yeah.
And the difference is now that it's bolted shut. So obviously somebody was aware of what lies beneath of it and took it upon themselves to close it. But of course, you know, a kid's curiosity, you know, they leave that moment, and she comes, or she basically reapproaches it, you know, with her little tool bag.
Oh, yeah.
And decides to, you know, to go ahead and open it. And that's the whole, that's the can of worms that just kind of takes this movie to the next level. So, I don't know. You want to pick up from there?
Yeah, so basically, at this point, she's really sad and somber. And something about kind of discovering this thing with her dad and Kim excites something in her. She gets a lot more energetic. She's trying to figure out what's going on, and she goes down to this furnace. And
there you go, furnace. That's the word we couldn't come up with.
The furnace, yeah. So she has some tools, goes back down, and tries to open it up. As she's opening it up, she starts to hear very, very strange voices.
What are you? What do you look like?
So yeah, these things are like begging her to open it. Please, open it, please.
Be our friend.
Yeah. So she opens it up. Well, actually, she attempts to open it up, and she can't get it open completely. So as this happens, she's kind of called up by her father, and the guy comes back down, right?
Yeah, the maintenance guy.
The maintenance guy. So he's like, "Oh, you can't do this. You gotta leave." Right. So as they go up, whatever it is behind that furnace starts to unscrew the portions that Sally couldn't open.
Right.
And whatever it is that's hidden behind there emerges. So then chaos pretty much ensues. So as this stuff is going on, whatever it is kind of creeping around the house. It's escaped from the furnace. And the first interaction that we have is Sally kind of sleeping in the bed and hearing voices through the vent.
Yeah.
And seeing things, and it just gets kind of weird. Like, what's very clear at the very beginning is that these things are very, they work in the dark. That's how it works.
Yep.
Yeah, those are the circumstances. Dark, anytime the light comes out, nothing happens. When the light's off, it's pretty much chaos.
The cool thing about it, though, is that they are actual physical things. Like, it's
Yeah.
not like a typical ghost story, like where it's like a spirit or a mist or a fog that you just,
Right.
you know, you feel and don't see. Like, they are physically, tangibly there. Like, you see them running across the floor in the shadows. You see them climb up a dresser and get behind the teddy bear that Kim gave Sally earlier. And they're basically controlling the teddy bear from behind,
Yeah.
you know, to the point, like, where the girl goes to reach for it, and, like, I think one of them reaches from behind at her hand or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it differentiates itself a little bit, is that there actually is a mythology behind it, which we get into a little later, but there's also a physical, there are physical creatures. There are like little monsters running around the house that are completely allergic to light, you know, and as long as it's dark, they're going to pretty much have their way with you.
Yeah. Now, the cool part about this is they kind of took the Super 8 approach. At first, you get small glimpses of it. You get a hand, a leg. You get the body a little bit, but you never get a clear glance at this thing. It's very apparent that this is some sort of rodent-like thing, but you don't know what it is. It scampers. You can hear it scampering along. You know it has little limbs, but you don't really get to see what it is until a little later in the movie.
Right.
So basically, there's two things going on. There are these creatures are trying to approach this girl, and then them doing these things, and Sally getting blamed for them.
Right.
So what happens initially is a light gets knocked down, right?
I think so, yeah.
Right, and then
Like
Kim's clothes get shredded.
Right.
So the father, Alex, believes that that's her fault. He goes crazy, goes bananas, and Sally's like, "I didn't do it. There's no way I could have done this." And Kim, at first, you know, she understands that this is a new person that she's meeting. She could possibly be her mom down the line. She understands that, but this doesn't. The vibe of what's going on is very weird. She seems a little scared, and she can see the terror in her face. It's not her.
Yeah, you can tell that Kim is the only one that's kind of sympathizing for what Sally's saying. I mean, whether or not she believes her right off the bat, I think it's not the factor, but it's a good point that you make in the sense that, like, the father just isn't hearing it. But you can see that Kim is at least, like, kind of intrigued by what's going on, because some things just aren't adding up, too, you know? Some things are being, you know, could she really have cut these clothes up? Like, they were literally, like, shredded, you know? And, I mean, and if so, like, the other problem, like you were kind of alluding to, is that, like, because earlier we see her taking medicine, the father automatically, you know, jumps on the whole, like, we got to get a child psychologist in here and, you know, get her medicine increased and dosages increased. And there literally is that scene, you know, like where, you know, they have a psychiatrist come in, or psychologist, whatever, and he's asking the little girl all these questions, and she's like a pro at it. You can tell that mom had put her through the same thing out in California, and she completely doesn't respond to it. The only outcome of it is that the doctor tells Alex, like, well, we'll check in with her doctor on the West Coast, and we're pretty much going to just, like, increase her dosage of whatever medicine she's on. So there's no resolution in that sense, but you do see that Kim is starting to align with her, and in a weird way, you almost think, like, is this an opportunity for her to kind of get on her good side? But you can also see that there truly is, like, an interest, like, something's wrong, you know? This is not natural whatsoever.
Definitely. So at this point, it's just kind of hearsay.
Yeah.
And then there's a point where these monsters kind of strike out and start taking action. Now, as this is happening also, Kim gets more interested in what's going on. So she's kind of pursuing on the side, you know, kind of behind Alex's back, what's going on with this house, the circumstances, and what she describes, what Sally describes seeing, versus what's going on with the mythology behind the house and what's going on with the who lived there previously. And they find out that there was a son. There used to be a son there, right?
Yeah. Well, it was Blackwood's son.
Yeah, Blackwood's son.
Yeah.
Lived there as well, which she didn't know. Neither one of them knew. Alex or Kim knew that existed.
I mean, basically, what an event happens that kind of kicks off Kim's discovery of everything is that the groundskeeper, I think Mr. Harris or Harris, whatever his name was, he gets attacked when he goes to the basement to kind of try to close the thing up. Like, he goes down.
That's kind of an understatement.
Yeah, after Sally's trying to get these things out of there and all this other shit's happening, he goes down to close up the furnace, put the bolts back in, and, you know, of course, in this attempt to do so, he fails, and these things just completely, you know, basically rip him up. I mean, like, they're cutting him with X-Acto knives and box cutters and scissors, and there's scissors sticking out of his neck. He manages to get up the steps out into the light and, you know, basically pass out on the floor in the foyer. You know, they get help for him. He goes to the hospital, you know, and that's where Kim kind of really starts to kind of examine and really explore some of the curiosity that Sally has kind of planted in her mind.
Yeah. This is also the first time you really get a good glance at these things.
Yeah, exactly.
They look like big gray balls of shit with faces.
Yeah.
They look pretty bad, man. They look pretty ugly.
I don't know if anybody's out there ever seen the movie The Gate, but they look very much like the little things in The Gate. Like, they're referred in the movie to, like, almost like little fairies or pixies. Like, basically the most grotesque, ugly pixie you could think of. You know, little, like, dried up prune faces almost. Like, pretty scary little things, but, you know, you can see the hair on them, and, like, they have, you know, like, little balls of hair. They're kind of creepy, but that is one of the first scenes you really see one, you know, entirely, like, you see, like, they all almost have, like, a little hunchback to them, and they're slouching over, and they, you know, they have sharp teeth and little hands and everything, and, you know, they stand up on 2 feet. It's kind of, you know, it's kind of a lot of detail. It's kind of cool what thought they put into it. But like I was saying before, when Kim visits Harris at the hospital, she's trying to probe a little bit and find more information about what he knows about it, because it's obvious at that point that he knows what's going on, or he knows some backstory. And he tells her to visit the library to, like, look into Blackwood's archives.
I don't like.
You don't like?
I don't like that.
You don't like the whole, let's go to the library and get all the answers for the whole movie.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. I feel like it's happened in Scream and other shit, and they just, the backstory cannot be discovered through that every single time. I feel like there has to be a point. Either that's two things that always get done. So cliche. Library, and also going to the psych ward to talk to the person that made it out.
That survived. And then that person dies. Yeah. Usually.
They're like, check the cellar. There's a in
that last breath.
Yeah.
They were waiting for that person to come.
I fucking hate that, man. So there are some cliche things that this movie does that start to put a damper on the entire story, to be honest with you. One thing we didn't talk about was how you feel about the actual actors that played the characters, the main 3 characters.
I didn't like dislike a lot of them. Like, there wasn't anybody that stood out as me hating. I thought, like, the supporting cast, like the groundskeeper guy and whoever the hell the maid was, like the old maid that was working for Alex, they were absolutely horrible. But I'm a huge Guy Pearce fan. I know you and I were talking after seeing the movie how we both felt like he could have easily been Batman.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I watch him all the time. He just has that, like, he does have that, like, Bruce Wayne cut to his face.
He does.
And, you know, not to complain about Christian Bale, I think he's awesome, but every time I see him in a movie, I'm like, he's been pretty cool as Batman. But I love Guy Pearce. I mean, he's kind of not as involved in the movie in terms of any kind of investment in the character as much as Katie Holmes and Bailee Madison are, but I did like Guy Pearce. He kind of plays that guy that you know he's doing things wrong, but you still don't really, like, have a real reason to hate him.
Yeah.
He's not, like, being a real jerk to his daughter. He just doesn't know what to do, and he knows the mother has already screwed up so much, and he's so focused on being successful again, you know, in turn so he could provide for his daughter. I had trouble hating him, even though you could tell he was being really dumb.
Yeah. That kind of contributes to this idea that once the shit hits the fan, I thought if he dies, I wouldn't care.
Yeah,
That's not good.
It's one of the that's that character though. It's that one that you're like. There's either the character that you're like you absolutely hate and you're like I want him to die. Like if anybody's to die, it should be him. But then there's the people that you really attach to and you're like, you know, you don't want them to go. And when they do go, that's like those scenes where you're like, oh my god, I can't believe it just happened.
Yeah.
But then he's that guy that you're like, you kind of are just in the middle of the road on. You don't really feel bad if he dies, but you don't really like rejoice that he survived really or anything like that. You know, it's just kind of the middle of the road. But you know, it's what it is. I think. I don't know. I like Bailee Madison. I think we were saying earlier she's a really good actress. I mean, she has that like Dakota Fanning, like Haley Joel Osment thing with her, like where she's like I don't even know how old she is, but like she acts like she's twice her age. And when she's playing a kid, I think it suffers sometimes when she can't actually play a kid.
Yeah.
You know, there are scenes when she's like really scared, and some of the more frantic scenes where I think the kid kicks in and she lets go of this like. I'm 9 years old and I'm so mature for my age.
I hate that.
And I'm popping pills.
The
and I'm not going to talk to you, Mom.
The kidult thing.
Like my ass would be beat if I was that kid. Like be a kid, you know, like make mistakes. Like I want to see that you're a kid because that helps with me kind of identifying with her as she's like so curious about what these things are. I mean, only a kid would make a dumb mistake like that. But then when she's talking like she's an adult and then making mistakes that kids make, there's a disconnect there for me.
There is. She reminds me of Drew Barrymore in E.T. She kind of has that vibe too.
She does. She has. I mean, she's adorable. She has like cute face, and I mean, she does have that. She had. I definitely see where you're going with the whole Drew Barrymore comparison.
I don't think that, man. Like the disconnect with her is huge, man. Like I think there's a big problem with those sort of child actors.
So you see what I'm saying, though?
Yeah, I feel like. One thing they did do in the movie that I really appreciated was even when the shit hit the fan, when things got really crazy and the fairy stopped being subtle and started like
going
attacking.
After it,
there was a point where she didn't do anything that I don't think a kid would have done. Like she didn't go outside of what a kid would have done. She didn't. You know, some when some kids get called to action in movies, they do ridiculous. They spin kick and use guns and just things that kids normally don't do. So I feel like everything was within reason.
From that point on, I can probably agree with you.
Yeah.
I just think that, like, I don't know, just overall, I mean, not that she was horrible by any means. She did a really good job. I think she's superbly talented for her age.
Yeah.
I just think that talent almost gets the best of her when she's supposed to be playing a kid.
Right.
That is, like, detached from mom and dad, that, you know, finds these cool things that she thinks is so great, and then they end up, like, wanting to kill her. You know, I just feel like, I don't know. It's a personal thing, probably. It sounds like me. I hate seeing these like little kids on like talk shows. I see her on TV promoting this movie, and like she's so well spoken, and like it's great that she's that mature, I guess, for her age. But then it hurts her in some ways. Like when I watch kids do that, it's like I totally just heard you talk about this or that on Jay Leno, and you sounded like you were 21 years old. Like,
yeah, that's true.
I have trouble like feeling for this little kid that's being attacked by these little berries.
Definitely. So we didn't do a little backstory on the story itself.
Wait. What about Katie? We didn't talk about Katie.
Yeah, let's talk about Katie.
That's where I thought you were going with this.
Katie Holmes. Okay, so I don't dislike Katie Holmes, first and foremost. I think that something about her performance felt very one-dimensional.
Right.
I think I got that she was like kind of hurting because she was kind of thrown into the situation where she didn't exactly want to be a parent, but she loves this dude and she wants to be supportive.
Right.
And she just wants a chance to be herself in this environment.
Sure.
However, there's something about the way she acts that just falls flat a lot. It's just
she's very flat. Not in the chest region, but just in the acting region.
It reminds me, oh man, like there's two people that I feel this way about, and she's better than her.
Who's the other one?
God, I cannot remember her name. It's what's her name's sister?
Maggie
Gyllenhaal.
Really?
I think Maggie Gyllenhaal is incredible in some stuff, but
it's funny that you say that because then you have the replacements in the whole Batman franchise.
Right. Matt in Batman in the other movies I've seen her in, she's very don't do it, Bruce. Very like dead to the world, like she's dialing it in. It makes me feel weird.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, like I don't know. That's weird. I feel like Katie Holmes will forever be Joey Potter to me from Dawson's Creek, and
Really?
I feel like that's because that's who she is. Like, I feel like Katie Holmes is that kind of character, and no matter everything she's done since then, with the exception of maybe Go, but even in Go, she kind of reminded me of like a Joey hopped up on drugs. But I mean, like in this film, I don't know. I never really got the impression that like I really thought that she was like stepmom material or whatever. Like,
No.
I don't feel like she was able to like step it up when the storyline kicked in and you really kind of when she had to be, except for maybe the last scene like that she's in, which is actually, I don't want to ruin the ending of the movie because the ending of this film is a little different than the original, the original television series that it's based on, but she kind of comes into her own in the last like 5 minutes that she's in the film.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I definitely agree with you. She's kind of like flat. I don't really feel like she's able to step it up or turn it on like another level like when she has to. Yeah, she's really pretty. You know,
she is. I was gonna say that she is so beautiful to me.
Tom Cruise is a lucky man.
This is the thing, though. I was thinking about this very deeply, actually, as I was driving here.
Yeah.
I don't know if it has to do with her. I don't know, man.
Really?
Like, I'm starting to realize that maybe overall this movie was a very nicely polished turd.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
A turd.
A complete turd.
Okay.
Because, all right, so one thing that this was kind of marketed as, and it kind of, maybe it's the marketing's fault. The formula is basically like, show this scene where she's under the covers and she's lifting it up, and
that scene is
it goes
frightening.
down, and it goes up, and it goes down as she's crawling. And then you see this fairy face to face screaming in her face. Now, that is pretty much what I expected from this movie. What I got was the fairies being revealed, and once the fairies got revealed, the movie went flat. I fucking didn't like it after that point. Because the fairies, not only were they were creepy, they weren't scary.
Yeah.
And it didn't strike me as something that would really be... Honestly, I'm going to be completely honest. And this is just... I'm very sensitive to this idea that, like, you don't know what you would do in this situation, but if I saw those fairies, I wouldn't be afraid of them. I'd be like, they're scary.
You can get like a golf club and
just go to town on them. And I think that because the story wasn't strong enough, because it kind of hinted at this whole like tooth fairy shit, it was just a bunch of things that... All right, so one thing we didn't say prior to any of this was that the original was a TV movie made in 1973 or 1974.
Yeah, 73.
And I'm going to be honest, it feels like it. It feels like the source material...
Oh, this movie's source?
It feels like the source material wasn't strong enough to be made into an hour-and-a-half movie. And I think that Guillermo del Toro, for all his greatness, falls flat a lot of the times in this movie. You know, if he's helping him, he wrote the script.
Right.
And first-time director, the gentleman that did it... Troy Nixey, who's, you know, has some comic book experience and stuff like that, does not have story experience. So it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel, after I watched it, I felt like I will never watch this movie again. I will never suggest it to anyone.
Really?
No, man. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't a fan of it overall. I don't think that maybe I hated it.
I didn't hate it. That's the thing.
I do think it just kind of runs on fumes for a lot of the movie. Like, I feel like you get this backstory with like the Blackwood character and like, okay, so basically in a nutshell, it's that every cycle, they say, during Katie Holmes' research at the library, it's like every cycle when these creatures are freed, it's the spirit that frees them who they have to, like, I guess have to accept as a sacrifice or something along those lines. And in the meantime, they're like feeding on the teeth of children and bones of humans and whatever. Like, there's this little backstory that's written, but it's really inconsistent because in the beginning of the movie, you see that they took Blackwood's son, and then they actually take Blackwood himself, and like that's it. So then we cut to the present day, and, you know, not to give everything away, but Sally is who opens this time,
right?
And the whole time they're going after only her,
right? And
then something changes in the end of the film that I'm not going to ruin it, but it kind of doesn't stay consistent with that whole idea, that whole mythology, or that whole backstory. And the teeth thing, it just seemed like was... You and I were talking, like, I think Guillermo does a lot of stuff where, like, he has nice touches of like integrating like children into like horror.
Yeah.
You know, like with Pan's Labyrinth, and I think he had involvement like with the Orphanage, which I thought was awesome.
That was a good movie.
You know, but like the whole teeth thing and kids and, you know, whatever, like I think it just didn't really, it couldn't support itself long enough. I mean, hour and a half movie, and you talked about the television one that was in the 70s. That one did not even have a kid in it. You know, I actually watched it the night after we saw the new version at home, and like there's literally 3 characters that have anything to do with the movie, and like there's no kid in it. You know, there's none of this like backstory about a Blackwood character. Mm-hmm. You know, you hear a backstory that's similar to this movie. There is consistency, and some of the scenes are very similar. But I mean, like, that movie barely got to an hour and a half with commercials and editing in the 70s.
Right.
Like, this movie got to an hour and a half with stuff with kids at it, with a backstory at it, with Katie Holmes' character going into the library, into the hospital, and all this stuff. And it just barely gets to an hour and a half.
Ugh,
you know,
yeah.
and I think it does kind of struggle because, like, you actually make a really good point that I didn't think about. Once we see those things attacking her, and, like, she gets through one time, like when she's in the bathroom, and she survives that. Every subsequent time you see them, I felt like, you know, each time I felt less and less, like, truly scared for her. You know, like, I was still scared because obviously they present it in a way that's like, this is a scary scene. But, like, you're like, you survived that in the bathroom, like, you survived it, you know, downstairs, you survived it at the dinner table, in the study, and here and there, like, all these attacks and these little things that are the size of, you know, softballs running around, like...
How the hell did they stab the grown man like 50 times and he didn't die?
Yeah.
This is the thing that messes with me really badly. So this is a spoiler alert, and I have to let you know that I'm going to say it. So I'm just going to give it away. So at the end, Katie Holmes dies. She's the only person that dies in the entire movie.
What? Katie Holmes dies?
Katie Holmes dies? What?
You just ruined it, man. I tried to tease it, and you just gave it away.
Okay.
That's okay. I'm fine with it.
Okay, so she dies, and then there's like, they hug it out.
That's the worst scene in the movie.
Alex and Sally hug it out literally at the end of the movie.
Alex is literally hanging down in the furnace, reaching for Sally, reaching for Kim, who's just been pulled down into this never-ending thing that we saw Blackwood pull down in the beginning of the movie. He's reaching for her, screaming for her, and wants her so badly not to be disappeared.
Yeah.
And then the next moment, he turns around, hugs his daughter, cue the strings, the cheesiest ass music at the end of that movie really bothered me. But yeah, and so it's like, okay, let's hug it out. We'll walk out. Kim's gone. I mean, it's just so weird. Like, there was no transition there. And god damn it, that really bothered me.
That was bad. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of, have you ever seen the alternate ending of Dodgeball?
No.
The alternate ending is basically they get hit, they lose, end the movie, credits roll.
Wow.
That's the end of the movie. That's the way it should have been, which I think would have been hilarious.
Right.
For a comedy, but for this genre, terrible.
Right.
It was so bad, man. The soundtrack also. We talk about that?
Yeah.
The soundtrack was also very painful.
Yeah.
I think that the choice to do orchestrated music can be really cool, but you have to have good orchestrated music for this movie, and it wasn't. There's a reason why this movie came out the time that it did. You always talk about the graveyard sort of season where they kind of release things at the end of the summer.
Yeah.
And I feel like this was released at that time because they thought that it was going to... I don't think this movie is going to do well, one.
Yeah.
In
opening weekend, maybe.
Yeah.
But that's it.
So we were in a movie theater with a bunch of young people, and they were really rowdy, right? So at first, I was really angry. Then as I was driving home, I was like, these people are reacting not only because this is supposed to be a horror film, but the characters were not scary enough. Like, it was something about the way they were presented that started to become almost jokey. Like, it just didn't feel...
Some of the dialogue did kind of present itself as kind of like humorous sometimes when it was not. It was obviously not intentional.
Yeah.
So you could definitely, I mean, to get on the topic of the audience that we were with, I fucking hate going to the movies like with an audience like that. Even if the dialogue presents itself like that.
Yeah.
I guess maybe because I just don't laugh at it because I'm trying to actually watch the fucking movie. Like, people otherwise are like yelling out at the screen. I mean,
run, bitch.
Yeah,
you
like
really
seriously,
did say stuff like that.
Yeah, you know, because obviously you fucking idiot, the character in the movie screen can hear you say that.
Yeah,
you know, and everybody laughs at it, and it's like, haha, they're 15 and they have no life in their future. Yeah. So let's just make fun of this movie, whatever. That's neither here or there, but there are parts in the movie that definitely kind of you can I guess you're right. You could see where they were going to make fun of it, but that just speaks to some of the flaws that the film has. And I mean, obviously, I think that some of the source material, like you were saying, it was kind of weak, and they tried to beef it up a little bit. Some worked, some didn't. There were some cool scenes in the movie I liked. There were some that just were all kind of awkward to watch.
Yeah.
Overall, fans of the genre, fans of any of the talent, it's worth checking out, I think, just to see it. Maybe not. It's not going to be something that you walk out loving or, probably raving about. There were some people that we saw with that really liked it, so I think there will be some people that can kind of get into it because of the fact that it teeter-totters on, like, that middle ground where it doesn't go real scary and it doesn't go, like, this is just, like, so stupid it's not even funny anymore,
it was...
It's safe.
It is
it's
safe.
Very safe.
It's very safe. The build-up was really good, honestly.
But then once you see it, you kind of just you weren't invested anymore.
It's ass after that point. It's not very good.
So I don't know. I think in terms of suggesting this one on this go round, I'll say probably proceed with caution. Kind of if you're looking for a safe bet, go for it. It's not going to knock your socks off.
It's not going to knock anybody's socks off.
No, you will definitely walk out with your socks still on. But yeah, I don't know. Definitely stay away from the original though, because that thing's a piece of shit. This is even though it's flawed, this is an improvement on that. I mean, I try to watch those old movies like with the open mind of hey, this was like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But man, it is weird. I know I'm not. That's not my age or whatever. Like that's not my time. Actually, that was like 40 years ago almost, right?
Yeah,
Damn.
That was a while ago.
Like it's hard to watch that shit. Whatever. But alright, so it's in theaters now. I don't know if you want to go see it or not. You might want to stay home and just like
it's in toilets now also.
It's in toilets now. Okay, so moving on to this episode's DVD quick picks. Okay. I'm gonna kick it off. I'm gonna talk about I think I accidentally mentioned it a little earlier. But a movie that came out a few years ago called The Orphanage.
Okay.
I know that you have seen it as well. Produced yet again by Guillermo del Toro. A film that he threw his name on. It's a Spanish-Mexican horror film. It is in Spanish. I don't know if he has some sort of connection to the director who was J.A. Bayano, I think. Bayona, something like that. I haven't seen anything that he's done since then, but really, really well done horror film. In a true sense, like a suspenseful horror film that has scenes that are scary, but really kind of where it really succeeds is that suspense, that build up, that kind of feeding me little pieces of the story, time here, time there, piece by piece, not shoving it all in my mouth through a visit to the library at the end.
Oh yeah.
And you kind of piece this movie together as the main character does. Definitely worth checking out. I think it came out in like 2007 or something like that. It's on DVD for sure, maybe on Netflix. But basically the story is basically around this woman who goes back to her childhood home, which is an orphanage. She wants to kind of run it for like a home for disabled children. But then they realize that her son, I think Simon is his name, believes that there's like a masked boy still at the orphanage, and it's kind of weird. It's kind of scary. It's actually one of those movies I remember when I saw it with one of my friends in the theater. It's like it's the thing where like she went home and she was like, I'm kind of going home and no one's there. Like I'm kind of scared.
Yeah,
it's kind of creepy movie, but definitely worth checking out. Again, it's called The Orphanage. It is a foreign language film, so if you're one of those idiots that can't read subtitles, you may be able to find one that has like a dubbed version. If you're going to go that route, I'd say don't even watch it because you probably don't deserve it.
Right.
But if you can read, I'd get the Spanish language one and just read the subtitles. Cool. But yeah, so what's your pick this week?
Mine is MEEK'S CUTOFF. It's an indie movie that came out in 2010. It's a Western. Basically, the plot is that some settlers are traveling across Oregon, an Oregon Trail, and they meet this Native American. That basically... they don't know whether he's good or bad, and they kind of capture him, and they're traveling, and they start to kind of lose their resources, and they sort of seek him out to help them on their journey. So Meek is a gentleman that they kind of bring along on the journey. He's not very nice. He's a big asshole. Michelle Williams' character, I'm a big fan of Michelle Williams. She plays a character named Emily, who's kind of the leader, and the women. Zoe Kazan plays Millie. Is it Paul Dano or is it Dano?
Dano.
Paul Dano plays Thomas Gately. I love Paul Dano. Like he's incredible to me. It's a really, really good movie. It's slow too, so it's a lot of scenes of travel and Oregon skylines and stuff like that. But once the action picks up, it's really pretty cool. So Meek's.
Is it on DVD?
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
Is that came out last year?
Yeah, super limited release.
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
So,
I haven't really heard much about it.
You should check it out. If you have the patience to kind of go through the slowness of the beginning, I think you'll enjoy
I can
it.
easily invest into a movie if it's paced very slowly, but it's doing so because something else is happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, not something on the screen, but something like with the story or something with a character, and I can see it, and I'm fine with that. But if it's like one of those slow movies that is so slow because it's intentionally being slow, so it can be like somebody can say that movie was a thinker or whatever. Like those fucking movies I hate because there's nothing actually happening.
It is one of those movies, however, that is like, I know that it's popular because it's purposefully like artsy because it's a Western in 2011.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I hear you.
That has a tendency to kind of win people over.
Yeah.
But it's actually a really good movie though. MEEK'S CUTOFF.
Cool.
So seek that out.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well, that's kind of going to wrap it up for this guy. That was a lean and mean episode right there.
It was.
Still a little long, but it felt pretty good. It was like we did a lot of talking.
Yeah.
So again, we talked about the Submarine on DVD right now as our Muddy Minute review. Don't Be Afraid of the Dark is in theaters now nationwide. So if you like movies like that, check it out. It's not
that.
like that. I don't know. I say like that. I feel bad. I feel like I didn't hate it, so I don't want to say don't see it because some people probably will like it. But some of the other movies that we reviewed or that we've talked about personally are those movies that came out in August that usually are not that good and they surprised the hell out of us. Mm-hmm. But this is kind of one of those movies that feels like one that was not a bad movie, but they just didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, exactly. It's mediocre. It falls right within.
And maybe in a different time of the year, I don't know. But like I know the movie was supposed to come out back in January, and like when Disney sold Miramax off, and now Film District is releasing this film, and it got pushed back like 8 months. I don't know if that affected like my experience with it. Maybe if it came out earlier in the year, I don't know. Probably not. It's the same fucking movie.
Yeah,
but
I know what you mean though. It's something about
timing can do a lot for a movie for sure. Maybe if this came out like in the fall, like around Halloween, it may have maybe had a better reception, but go check it out if you like movies like that. It's not gonna hurt you, and you may come out of it with a smile on your face at least. But again, thanks so much for listening. As always, be sure to keep in touch with us. Subscribe to the iTunes podcast. We're also on Mixcloud if you prefer that route. If you are listening to the iTunes podcast through iTunes, if you could please rate us or post a comment on the page. I'm not sure if people realize how this works, but as we get star ratings and people review our podcast by writing comments, it actually helps place us in search results. Like if somebody, was doing a search query for like movie reviews, the more ratings we get, the more comments we get, will actually improve how we get listed, which in turn gives us more people to listen to our podcast. Yeah. So you could help us out with that if you don't mind. If you're not on there on Mixcloud, you can do the same thing. Leave us comments, share them through the Mixcloud interface, or you can even post our podcast embedded on your webpage if you want to.
Yeah, please do.
With the code that is available on Mixcloud. And as Ronald said earlier, we have the Facebook page, we have the Twitter account. Our official page is movieschmovie.net, and we have the movieschmovie@gmail.com. If you want to email us directly with maybe some recommendations for the next episode's Mighty Minute review. Last little thing I'm going to throw out there is that we're going to have a new logo coming out soon.
Oh, yes.
Our boy Ryan is going to make us a new logo, and it may even be up by the time you're listening to this. So this may be a pointless comment right now, but I'm trying to be optimistic, and hopefully it'll be done sooner than later. But
cool.
We have a brand new logo in the works that does not look like a Marlboro cigarette box.
That's very true. That's going to look very different.
It's going to look nice. It's going to look real nice.
Yeah.
But as always, guys, thanks so much for listening. And as always, just spread the word.
Please.
Keep going to the movies. Keep buying tickets. Buy movies, buy DVDs. Also download some free shit, too.
Yeah, man.
I'm not going to be
That's way too many movies.
I'm not going to be a liar. I'm not going to be ignorant. I do the same thing. So until next time, we'll talk to you then. And as always, you've made our day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.